Welcome back to Metal Gear Explain. In today's video, we're going to talk about the faithfulness of the fans, the faithfulness of Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, and a big breakdown by DF. If you don't know who they are, I'll break it down in a minute. But yes, let's get into it. Before we do, actually, I have a giveaway for Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. All you have to do is like, comment, subscribe, and we will be selecting winners from the comments and announcing them on the videos. So stay tuned for that, and we'll continue to do that throughout until the release of this game. So lock in. Appreciate you guys. That being said, let's dive into it. First things first, guys. Metal Gear Solid 3 is the definitive Metal Gear game, in my opinion, that I think can introduce everyone. Now that we have a next-gen version for the future, it's very important. I think that fans really needed something to introduce them properly to the series, with new mechanics and, of course, the graphics and gameplay being enhanced. That is critical, in my opinion, to continue the series, kind of reboot it. And this was the perfect game because, as we know, this is literally the king of kings when it comes to introducing the story. It's the origin of everything, and that is perfect. So having that faith in this game, that it can basically bring in new people, satisfy the hardcore players, and so much more, I think Konami did a good job there. And in today's video, I want to discuss tons of things when it comes to the game and how the designs are looking and what's going on. We broke everything down already, but now we have even the tech experts who basically do a lot of analytical breakdowns when it comes to the graphics or whatever else. They have all the good details, and they're called Digital Foundry. And I'm going to be showcasing a little bit of what they've presented and giving you guys my breakdown on what they had to say, and just hopefully giving you guys a good. So you're going to see a lot of comparisons here, and I'm also going to be breaking it down as we go forward so that you can understand deeper about everything. So as you can see right here, this is probably one of the most important ones when it comes to visuals. They're staying faithful, as the video title is going to say, faithful. And Digital Foundry, who did this specific breakdown, I have my own comparison, right? But like what they're doing here, where they're going back and forth. And so this is critical, because now you're seeing it's the exact replica of the original. So this is 100% confirmation. I've already said it multiple times on many videos since watching these trailers that it's authentic. Since I've played this game 100 times, I know exactly where enemies are placed. I know where the camera was. And there are some camera changes, guys. I'm not going to act like everything is exact. It's pretty much the height of a camera maybe changes a little, but everything else is still there. But one of the greatest parts is that the actual facial animations, the hair foliage, where it's not just a clump, it's actually single hair strands, and I'm sure that the wind will blow it and it'll move. Same thing as you could see the bandana moving. Same thing with all the different elements that they basically doing a good job comparing in this video we're going to watch in a second. I think that it is super critical that this is happening, because you know us, the fans, some fans are just never satisfied. And having a duplicate, which we're going to see here, the identical representation of the game from Konami, is super important. And you look at it, just every single detail, guys. You can see every button, every word. You can read some of the stuff that's on there. And then when it comes to the character design, if we take a moment, you look at Paramedic, you look at Zero, you look at anybody in this trailer, and you'll say, wow, their hair, all the details on the machines, everything is authentic. And so to me, that is the most important when you're looking at this, and you can see endless details, whether it's the textures, the lighting, the light reflections off of the mask, the goggles there that you can see, the ray tracing that I'm assuming is in here. You're looking at beautiful stuff. And again, pay close attention to the hair. And I just want to take a moment there as you're seeing true definitive hair. You've seen in this game a lot of the hair wouldn't move, and now, of course, 20 years later, but we have better everything. And you can see even the texture just looks so much better. And this is such a good breakdown for me. I have a side by side, but having those back and forths are really good too. And so paying attention, you can see the physical structure, as I pointed out in a bunch of my videos, is exactly like the original. Okay, even the character movement is close to almost the same. Okay, as you can see, this is like very key details here. It just change everything and just add value to your experience when you play this. Just imagine being somebody who's never played this series and comes in and experience it with this 4K, where you can actually see the clouds, you can actually feel like it's a plane. And of course, the retro fans are gonna say, oh, it was good the way it was for its time. And it's, of course, I mean, I think it's a perfect 10 game, but now it goes up to 20 out of 10. And so I love that. And then of course, mechanically, gameplay wise, they're gonna keep all of the very cool mechanics in there. When it comes to camera angle, you can go back into the original over the top, or you can do it the way we have here. And for me personally, these scenes right here, the most iconic, don't want to spoil the story. I kind of forget how not everybody knows the series, but introducing it to you, this is such an iconic scene. This is the first time you really see Snake in action in a cutscene. And Big Boss being so badass, it's amazing. I absolutely love it. Fun stuff. The series has improved drastically just from the faithfulness that they have. And if you're looking at it from a side by side, you can tell 100% it's not just the facial animations, it's the makeup and how there's small texture differences. And then the hair, you can see it's like a plump on his head on the left, and then the original, it's actual single hair strands. And then you can see his mouth moving and having a little more cheekbone movement. Overall, everything just has a little more realisticness to it compared to the original. And it's 2024, and so this is critical. Things that we could note here, for example, his face has changed a bit compared to the original, just a little bit. But that happens when you have that high level graphics where you can really detail somebody's face and showcase how they look officially versus a cartoon style version. And so for me, it looks great. And I want to take a pause here because so cool. You just watch the fog. There's not a lot of fog on the left the way there is on the right in the new footage. The new footage really makes it foggy, and you really can feel that atmosphere. And even behind the boss, when you look at her, there's so much detail now with that fog just kind of creating a misty area. And like the other side, you can see everything kind of clear with the yellow filter. Cool. It looked great. It felt great with that. But this one right here just adds the true essence. And then when we talk about the environment, man, everything is done exactly the same. This is all about having that faithfulness. And again, I'm not going to go too deep into Konami needing to be faithful. That's a conversation we could leave in the chat. How do you guys feel about that? I have another video I'll talk about a little later that I'm going to be posting that you guys really want to see, because it's gonna blow your mind about the future of what's to come and what's possible in this Delta game. So check that out. But look at this right here, okay? The amount of detail that you see in comparison. Okay, they did not add a bunch of grass. They didn't do anything crazy. And this is something that Digital Foundry, again, this footage here, they basically talk about how, you know, the little texture, the foliage, the shading, and all of the extra technical stuff that you guys probably love. I might leave it in the description so you guys can check it out. They really say, you know, this is impressive, where they really putting it together very well when it comes to the original and the improvements. And to me, that's important, because as fans, you know, if I'm gonna get a true remake, and this is what they're doing here, and that's where, for me, I think it's good for everybody, because the hardcore fans are not gonna cry because they changed one leaf that fell. They're gonna, oh, that leaf is missing, how could they do this? And then the new fans are like, wow, this is spectacular, because it's also true to the design. I think it was a masterpiece. Very few masterpieces in the industry, in my opinion, but this game pretty much was as best as it could get. And so I love that. And then gameplay wise, again, important to note, you don't only have the camera angle change, you have the gameplay change, okay? Meaning your controller settings can change as well. So you're gonna be able to do both. You're gonna be able to change a camera if you wanna go old school, and change your controls if you wanna go old school or new school. And so for me, that is critical, and it's gonna help us get the best out of the actual experience going forward. So personally, I love it. I'm excited. It's super interesting. And Konami did a good job, in my opinion, to avoid the criticisms that come with making a remake. Trying to say it's just a cash grab. This is a faithful recreation. And as you can see, these details are spectacular and very much going to be a fun and exciting time when we do get this game. Now, I do want to end this by letting y'all know I appreciate everybody, and the reason I'm doing giveaways for the game, I'm excited about it. I want to introduce the world. If I could, I'll give away millions of copies, right? Like, but I'm gonna do the best I can to give you guys some. So stay tuned, lock in, get yourself a chance to win, and you should be good to go by checking the description for how to do that. We already talked about it in the beginning. With that out of the way, feel free to check out this next video where I break down in detail all of what could come for this remake. I mean, it's a really important remake, and I don't think they're just gonna make the game and just sell it. I think they're gonna have bonus content, and it could be very special. So go ahead, check it out, and then come back and hang with me. See you there. Peace.